Yeah, so I think we can start. Yeah, so I have been working with different Python projects, and today I'll be showing one of my first project that I did almost 1.5 years ago, like during the RIG induction process. So first, I'll be showing you one video, and you can watch it throughout, and I'll be explaining it again one by one. Okay. Yeah, so this is the project that I have done, and I hope you got an idea how the what the program actually does. So actually, the screen that you are seeing is the user interface. Okay, so this user interface is written in CSS, HTML, and JavaScript. Okay, so I am not getting deep into that, but actually this CSS is like it designs the thing like it is for the layout, or you can see the color, the font style, font text, and all. And then HTML is like for the overall what to be shown, and then JavaScript is used to communicate with Python. Like whatever the input we give here in this web application has to be forward to Python, right? So JavaScript is used there, and also JavaScript is like it has to display something. Like you can see when I click an object, yeah, there a tick mark will appear, right? So all these functions are done by JavaScript. And then actually Python, this GUI is just a simple thing. The brain is Python, and Python is really working behind this application, and it acts like a backend, and this you can call it as a front end. Okay. So here I have given three categories. Like you can click on this category, you can click on anyone. Like you can give as much as possible. I have given three categories, and it's like when I click on this one image, like the JavaScript or the web application will detect that this has been clicked, and the data will be sent to the Python. So in the Python there is a function like which detects like which has been clicked, and like if there is an if statement, there is a function for if statement that if this has been clicked then do this, then if this is clicked then do the other function. Like the thing there is many functions in Python. And again you can give some inputs here. You can give maximum price, you can give your email, and then send email. Okay, so maximum price is like you can give some 10,000 rupees. So and then the Python will log into the Flipkart and search for all the mobile phones under that price, and if there are some, it will download the data like with all the parameters including the rating of that mobile phone, the price, the name, and even the link to that web page. So that will be generated, and it will be sent to your email. And again you can so the data is given, and so the email is sent, and again you can download the file as a CSV. So CSV is like an Excel sheet, like it's a text file. It's more like an Excel sheet. So that file will be downloaded to your computer, and then Python will use that CSV file to to sort the things. Like there are some libraries that we use, so it can read the CSV file and then sort it according to our needs, like sort it and organize, and it will be displayed. Okay, so here you can see a graph. So this graph is for the price comparison. So almost all are having 10,000 rupees. So it's like a uniform. but yeah, so this entire graph is generated by Python module. I mean, yeah, Python library. Okay, yeah, I will get to that. And again, you can see the rating comparison. So here, for example, first mobile phone is like Vivo Y81. It's almost like 4.5 rating, and some are having 4 and some are having 3.8. So you can get an idea on to make your decision, right? So but in this application, I haven't included the timer or thing. If there is a timer, you can you don't actually need to log into Flipkart and check each every time. So this program will do that for you. Like this program will check the Flipkart every 1 hour or maybe at least in 24 hours. Then it will check if there is a mobile phone under this, right? Then it will notify you through the email. So that can be implemented, but yeah, I haven't done that. There is no small. I mean, a small advancement upgrade can be done. Okay, so and one more video. Yeah, you can the email is received in the mobile phone, and you can see the how the email is. So even this entire email is automated by Python. Like email is generated, and like even it is designed in a contrasting manner. It is having a button. If you click the button, it will redirect to the web page of that corresponding mobile phone. So like everything, the price is there, the rating is there, everything. Okay, so even this is done by Python. So and this one is it's not a plain text, right? It's having a design. So it has got some HTML and CSS as well. Yeah, so that's it. And and now yeah, this is my GitHub repository where is the source code of the program. So you can see the Python. See, 59% of the program is written in Python. So that's the main. It's the brain of that where all the functions are written. Okay, and then just a 15% is CSS, and that's just for the layout how to appear, and then 15% is for HTML and 10% for JavaScript. Yeah, so that's how the proportions are, and I will show you the code. First one, it's like the web. Okay, so I'm not getting deep. I'm just showing that. So here is the CSV file and the images that you show in the main screen. Then there is the HTML, okay, and JavaScript file as well. So yeah, that's done. So this is the Python file, and this is the brain or the all the functions are located. As you see, this is somewhat lengthy, so I'm not getting deep into that. But I will, just my intention is to familiarize you with some of the libraries that I have used. Okay, so this is lengthy as you can see. Like I took almost 1 month to do this one because even I did not have a prior knowledge in Python, so I was learning Python to implementing this program. So it took me a month, and yeah, I have to go through different documentation, Stack Overflow. Like you will come across many bugs and errors, so you have to study and yeah. I have one more suggestion for you. Like you can keep a notebook. Not now. I mean, while learning Python, you can keep a permanent notebook with you, so that it's always better to write down like the important points. Like it may appear that like, it may seem that it's very easy and you may not forget. But the thing is that when you have a gap for a few months or maybe a year, you may forget some of the things. So it's better to write down the things. Okay, so that is what I have done, and it really helped me. And now there are yeah, I will show some of the functions. One of the functions on SMTP library, SMTP lib. So that's like SMTP is a protocol. Okay, SMTP stands for Symbol Mail Transfer Protocol, and that I will show how it is being used. There is a function called send email, and within that there is a function get send email. Yeah. So here you see how is that used. Here a server, a variable server is created. I mean that's actually an object being created by calling the SMTP library dot. This is the method SMTP SSL, and the argument is gmail.com. So actually we are creating a Gmail server in just one line. Okay, and in the second line you can see server.login. You can give your email and your password here so that it will log into the Gmail account. So in just two lines of Python code, you have logged into your Python, I mean Gmail account, and you can send the message to, like, you can send any message to anyone. So that's it, just two lines of code. So that is, like, otherwise actually SMTP, like, it's a networking protocol, right? It's a bunch lot of things, but you don't have to bother about that. You have to just import and just use it. Okay. And then another major important library is like request. Okay, requests, you can say, like, request is that the Python has to connect with the internet, right? I mean, to log into the Flipkart, to go through the Flipkart, actually Python has to get the data of that URL. Actually, you can see this is the URL for this web page, right? Similarly, the URL for the Flipkart will be given, and the Python has to connect with that. So that is done by this request library. You can see it here. You can see the send email function, how it is being used. Yeah, this one, r equal to request dot get the URL. So you have to just give the URL of that web page, and then give that URL to the get method of the request. So an object will be created, and then r dot content will give the content of that entire web page. So content is like, for example, yeah, this is a Flipkart website. Okay, so you can get the inspect, so you can see the entire HTML of that web page. So this is how source code of that web page, what is being displayed. So yeah, this is called the content. Okay, content of that web page. So by calling just r dot content, the entire HTML of that web page will be stored to this content variable. So yeah, that's it. And the other thing is that beautiful soup, and that's the main, that's the core of this program. Beautiful soup is being used here. Okay, so from BS4 import beautiful soup. BS4 stands for beautiful soup 4, and you are importing this function. Okay, and I will show how it is being used. And we have got the content, right, the entire HTML. As you can see, this HTML is like, it's very difficult to go through the HTML, like raw HTML. It's very hard to find the things, it's very hard to organize and all. Okay, so actually we are using beautiful soup to, it's called parsing. You can see beautiful soup is for parsing HTML and XML documents. It's like parsing means, in kind of ordering, like getting a structure of that HTML file, so that you can search for some, some classes, some library, I mean, yeah, some attributes and all. So that's how it's used. I will show one example. Here you can see the soap dot, like, yeah, and that content, the raw HTML content is given to the beautiful soup, and that is now stored in the soup. So it's now a beautiful soup object. So you have got many different functionalities that you can implement on this soup, soup variable or object. So it's like, soup dot find all. You can find all divisions with the attribute, class attribute that is having this value. See, that's how it is organized. And this is really hard coded by me. Like, you can see the Flipkart website. For example, yeah, you can click this button, and you can know what is the class of this one by clicking the price. So you can see, zoom it. Yeah, you can see this is the HTML tag corresponding to the price. So it has got a class, class attribute with this as the value for that attribute. So so you can search for that value in this entire HTML page. So you will get to that price. You will get that price. So yeah, that is how it is being used, and again you can get the price by again digging deeper into that. Now we have got the, suppose for example it's a mobile phone, you have got the entire tag of that mobile phone. Then you have to extract the price by again finding division with the attribute, the class attribute with this value. Like, actually you have to go through the Flipkart HTML, then only you'll be getting which class value is being used. It depends on it varies according to the website. Okay, each website will be having a different tags that is really constructed by them. So that is how beautiful soap is used. And then yeah, No need to bother about that. It's really for connecting Python with JavaScript. You can see here, yield.expose. It means this function is being exposed, and this function can be called from the JavaScript side. Okay, actually written in Python, but it can be called from the JavaScript side, and that is how we use the yield. Then, yeah, next one is like email message. Okay, so now we have created a server. We have logged into the Gmail, and now we have to create an email. I mean, the content, the body of the email that has to be sent. So it's like you can do it in a plain text, but you have to like it's better to have a subject. Then like there are some categories, right? So for that you can use this function like email.message import the function email message. So yeah, you can see here it is initialized like the email message. That object is created as a MSG variable. Then you can see how it is being used. Like, yeah, you can see here message subject, right? So message for the message object, the subject is given as this value. This is the subject, and you can also give this. You can give the content as well, right? Here message dot set content the body. So the body is this is the body, and it's messed up. It's a lengthy one. So that body actually is body is in HTML, which contains the name of the mobile phone, the rating, and all. Okay, and that you can see later. Like so that body is being assigned. It is given to the set content message. So it's easy. Otherwise, you have to do it from scratch. Here we are using this message object and just setting up the body. You can give an alternative. So that's how the message is done. So yeah, that's it. And then the another important one is matplotlib. Okay, and then we are importing the pyplot as PLT. So this is an important function in Python where you can generate different kinds of graphs like bar graphs and different pie charts and all. Okay, so this is used here. You have seen two different graphs, right? Price comparison and then the rating comparison. So that graphs are done by using this library matplotlib. Okay, so see only this is the function for that. It's a small function, right? So first another one is pandas. Here pandas is used to to read the CSV file, then sort the content inside the CSV file according to the rating or according to the price. Okay, so that pandas is being used here. So pandas is for any kind of manipulations for dealing with big tables, big data and all. So that's it, and you can see how the yeah here the figure or the graph figure is being created by plt dot figure with this figure size. So the size of this graph is specified here. It's like 9.8 into 5. Then you can get the axis. You can name. You can actually give the color for the bar. Like here, barage is the histogram bar. Okay, you can give the color. You can give what is the title of that axis. I mean, yeah, title is here. The rating comparison. See, type and comparison. Type will be provided from from outside the function. So comparison, then the things. So that's how matplotlib is used. Okay, so that's an overall view of this program, and actually you can get into this like you can go to this URL GitHub Amirul do Flipkart Scraper. So you can go through the code one by one, and it's available there. Okay, so that's one thing.
Amirul, can you put that link into the
Yeah.
chat?
Yeah, so one more suggestion is that like I hope that all you got a good introduction to Python in this workshop, and it's better to have a little bit more information from from some courses or that. And it's always don't get directly go coding because it's like Python there are many many inbuilt functions, many shortcuts. So it's better to have the basics first, then do the coding. Otherwise, you may do like a program can be done in 10. You may do it in 10 lines, but actually it can be done in 3 to 4 lines of code. So yeah, I mean it's better to get the basics, but don't continue learning it throughout. I mean you can after getting the basics you can start implementing. That's how I learned. Okay, so I just got the basics and then I just started doing the Flipkart Scraper, and in that process I learned much about the Python. So I think you can get like this Hitesh Chaudhary is a good YouTube channel. There are so many here, the web automation in Python for beginners, and that's a good video. You can watch it. Then yeah, that's it. And another thing is that learn Python as early as possible. And then because there are many sub fields within Python, you can choose machine learning as your major maybe. Like machine learning is for like you can teach the computer, you can teach the robot or anything, right? And then automations with automation in general and web automation also. And you can get into OpenCV, like the computer vision, where you can use the camera of your mobile phone or laptop to detect the object, to detect the shape of object, to the color of the object. Like you can start like that. Or even you can get into data science, like you can do the big data analysis. So there are a lot of fields. Like, it's better to take one as major, and then all the other you can have an idea. You can explore all the fields, and then you will get to know in which you are interested. So that's good. And yeah, I would like yeah, well, I have also done one fun project. You can see US election. Like in the last year, in the 2020 US presidential election, like you know that in US the election is very lengthy, right? I mean the counting process is very lengthy. It takes days and even a month, right? So I was very curious, like to know who won, like Biden or Trump. So like I was taking up, like I was searching Google every half an hour, like to know who really won. So then at last I thought, let me do a Python program so that the Python will Google it. Then if like I have done it in a way that if Biden wins, then notify me. Okay. So that's how, like that's very simple. Like you have got an MP3 alarm, like an MP3 file, and this is the Python. Simple, just 19 lines of code. Okay, that's it. So it actually uses Selenium, and that's like instead of beautiful soup here I'm using Selenium. Okay, so Selenium is like web automation. Like the Python will, well, you can see the Chrome. Another one is from Selenium I'm using WebDriver. So WebDriver.chrome. It means the Chrome will be launched, and in that Chrome, this Google URL is given so that Python will go to that Google. Actually that Google is a selection result of the US election. Okay, so then there is a code. Like you can see the find element by XPath. XPath is like you can click here. Yeah, you'll be getting an XPath here. See XPath for each element. Like for this price, the XPath is like, yeah, this is the XPath. So you can use the Selenium. You can use the Selenium to find that XPath, and then the what is the value. If the value is greater than like 270 has the the border, or greater than 270, that guy will win. So yeah, greater than 270. So yeah, then you can play the alarm. That's it. So that's a small Python project and a fun project. Yeah. So that's it. And thank you for attending my session.